way too long. Perhaps this guy doesn't like writing anymore. Or maybe he's run out of t-shirts and blogs are going the way of the CD. Well, it pleases me to tell you at this time that that's none of your business, and I thank you to stay out of my personal affairs. Okay, so maybe that's only funny if you've seen the first Ace Ventura movie. But if you've gotten this far into the video, you might as well continue. I'm not sure where that was going, but I'm positive that at some point from the quarantine to now, you've given 2 hours to something that you wish that you had. That's time that you'll never get back. So why not give 3 to 5 minutes to me? Also, please, 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 like, share, subscribe, and comment. It definitely helps. In some way, it helps. Everybody says that it helps, but I'm telling you that it really helps. So I'm not exactly sure where to start, so I'm gonna just start saying stuff. I remember saying to you guys before that I was working on some projects, and that continues to be true. So not very long ago, I released like the first new music I've released in about 6.5 years. You heard that right. There are children in kindergarten and first grade who are younger than my last album. Good God, I feel old. Also, I'm trying to get used to expressing my thoughts without using emojis. And I promise you, it's no easy task. Anyway, I released it on my birthday in 2020. And if you're at all interested in fantastic underground music with unbelievable lyrical genius, the likes of which only God could bless you with, then I would encourage you to go check that out. Softspokenprophet.bandcamp.com. Renee's Vision, Mark's Wisdom. I don't know why, but my inner Ryan Reynolds is on 1,000 right now. So of course I'm kidding, but seriously, if you would like to, please listen. Please and thank you. Batman has always been my favorite hero. That is well documented. One aspect of Batman that I probably haven't talked about is his bravery. It's a running joke that Batman's superpower is white privilege, and I'm not here to dispute that. I actually think it's true to an extent. But there were other parts of his character that I admired, starting with the fact that he was fearless. Batman went into battle with Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Martian Manhunter, the Green Lantern, with everybody. Every other one of those heroes had an unworldly ability that would be able to keep them out of danger, or at least level the playing field with other supervillains. Batman had a bunch of ideas and some courage. That's it. Well, that and maybe a strong belief in himself. But he should have been the Brian Scalabrine. Who's that, you ask? That's a basketball reference. You'll have to look him up. The Brian Scalabrine of the Justice League. But instead, he was one of the most important members. I couldn't imagine trying to help in a fight against somebody who was completely made of fire or could shoot laser beams out of their eyes or something like that. But Batman never thought twice. Now, he did get jacked up a few times. Maybe more than a few times. But the record will show that Batman was fearless in his pursuit of justice. And when it comes down to it, that's a superpower, period. I'm not adding that stupid capital T on the end of that neither. Who raised y'all? Courage, now that I'm thinking about it, is not even the absence of fear. I think that it's the willingness to go forward in whatever you're doing, even though fear is present. Growing up in church, we always heard that scripture that said that God has not given us the spirit of fear. That would be 2 Timothy 1:7. Go ahead and look it up. I always thought that what it meant was that we shouldn't feel fear. And I've always struggled to not feel that. But that's not what the scripture said. It was saying that God isn't the one who gave us that. So if we feel it, it's not because he wants us to. It goes on to say that he has given us the spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. It's not a coincidence that fear can take away each one of these if we let it. Fear makes us feel powerless. Fear makes us doubt that we're loved. Fear makes us feel like we're losing a grip on our sanity sometimes. Fear can paralyze us and keep us from taking the steps that God has ordered for us. It's no wonder that fearful people are often referred to as spineless, because you can't walk if you're spineless. So in a way, fear can make you a spiritual paraplegic. And that's a terrible place to be. Because not only are you standing still when you should be going forward, but you're no longer walking with God. How in the world can you navigate through the valley of the shadow of death if you're fearful because you're not walking with him? It simply cannot be done. Where does this fear come from? Well, since the scripture made it plain that we know that it didn't come from God, we know that it only could have come from who the old folks will refer to as that old flu-foot devil. That old Flufoot devil. There's a lot more that I could get into with this, but I will spare you my long-windedness and just get to the point. Today's t-shirt states that healing is heroic, focusing on the fact that the scripture said that God has given us the power of a sound mind, after saying that he had not given us the spirit of fear. Sometimes it's hard for us to be able to begin to heal from trauma. So we accept temporary mindsets as permanent because we're too afraid to deal with it. And we can't even take that first step. Paralysis. And in my opinion, that first step is being able to admit to yourself that there is a problem. It's at that point that healing starts, because once you're able to admit it to you, you're able to come to the conclusion that you need help and begin to take the steps to go and seek it out. The point is that healing is heroic because healing is a choice not to be slaves to the things that plague our minds and make us lesser versions of ourselves. A choice that we make not in the absence of fear, but in the face of it. Our mental health is too important not to fight for it. Please hear me. Healing is heroic. Well, I didn't see that going in that direction. Go gadget preacher voice. I'm kidding. But hopefully that gave some perspective to someone who needed it. I have so many t-shirts you guys haven't seen and I haven't had a chance to write about. Please stay tuned. A lot of good things are coming. Again, if you have about 37 minutes or so, go to softspokenprophet.bandcamp.com and check out my album, Renee's Vision, Mark's Wisdom. You can also check out some of my music or my shows on my Soft Spoken Prophet page on Facebook. That's Soft Spoken Prophet, and also Soft Spoken Prophet TV via YouTube. And if you have time, you can comment here or hit me up with stories about your testimonies. We in this together. And that's for anything. You can give me feedback on my music if you want, but if you come for me, I will roast you.